Hi everyone, I have some cute pictures to show you, and then we're going to colour one of them. Now these are from Agotapop. Now she has sent me a couple of files, which is very kind of her, to sort of show you and to enjoy it as well. And there are two different sections. I'll just move that one away because this one's called Tiny Plants in Pots, I think. Now it's available on our Etsy store, and she has applied a discount for anyone using my link from the description of the video in order to purchase them. So that's rather kind of her. So I'm going to sort of show you all the pictures. As I said, there's two sets. This is the tiny plants in pots. Now I printed it on an A4 sheet. You can either do letter or A4. She does it for both. Obviously in the UK, well, maybe not obviously, we use the A4. I think Americans use the letter size. Anyway, and this page has got 9 images on, so they are quite small. And she did say they're a little bit smaller with little details, and she wanted some feedback. Now for me, sometimes I'm in the mood for small details, sometimes I'm not. So I'm not very good at giving feedback where that's concerned. But anyway, let's show you all the little pictures. So basically, each one is a little pot with a plant in. I think they're ever so cute. I've already seen a couple of tutorials around for these. I think she's done some herself, and I've seen a few others on Instagram Reels. I'm not sure if they're on YouTube as well, but they're nice and small. And if you like smaller designs, there's none on the back of there, then these are ideal for you. These are the sorts of things that I was might be expecting from Johanna's new book. Johanna Basford's new book, sorry. I assume you know who I'm talking about, you may not. So and what I like about Agata's art is that it's really simple. So although this has got dots, that's slightly more, but the areas aren't shaded in with any detail very much. We've got a few lines there. This one's slightly more detailed, but I feel that I don't get worried about it. And some artists will put loads of lines and dots all over the leaves and lots of little details, and then I get a bit, I don't really know what to do with it. But here I can put in my own shading or not. I can just colour it plain. I can do, I feel like it gives me a few more options somehow. But that's just my personal thought on it. So you can see that we've got some that are just leafy plants, and some that are florals, all sorts of different designs of pots and jugs and containers, which is rather nice. And so I'm not going to tell you how much it costs, because I did look, but it might depend on where you're buying it from. With regards to currency conversion, it all gets really complicated for me. So I'm not going to worry about that. So that is those. So you get basically 3 pages with 9 on each. So you've got 27 images in total to colour, each quite small. In fact, you could, take a month and do one a day or something like that. So that's that little set. I'm not going to colour any of those today. I'm going to colour from the other set because, as I say, I've seen some that have been coloured already. Now these are a little larger, so I'm going to come out a little bit just to show you. I think these were called Plant Town. Okay. Now when you go onto her Etsy shop, you can clearly see all of the images. So if you spot one you like, you'll be able to find it. There's a smudge there that was on my paper. My paper was creased, I don't know why. And so when it printed, it's smudged, but it's not on the original image, so don't worry about that. So here we've got 6 images. I'm just going to show you all the pages quickly, and then we'll see this one is like shelves, so it's one big page, but you can still do it in little sections. And then this one, whoops, we've got 6 images again, but I will show you a little bit more closely. We'll come in. There we go. So you can see the whole shelf. So again, it's similar in that we've got plants in pots and the different types of pots, but they're homes. So we've got windows and doors and ladders and things, which is rather cute, I think. We've got a little boat one here. Actually, there's not even a plant on that one. It's a bit different, little kite, and some much smaller ones here. Little snail shell on that one. And let's do the back ones in more detail. So there's 6 images per page on these last 2 pages. You get 3 pages in total. So this one you've got like nice poppies and then some smaller pots. This one is pretty cute, I think. You've got shelving again, but it's really quite small. But you know, it's not teeny. I've seen smaller images, to be honest. And here we have one with 2 pot houses. This one is the flower shop, which is, so we've got all sorts of pots and some balloons. Another sort of, whoops, shelves with little ones. As I say, that smudge isn't on the original. I like this little, the washing line. It's adorable. And then the final page, actually, I printed one out. Yeah, I printed this final page out. This is it on white paper, on some cream paper, and I'm going to colour an image from this final page. Probably this first one, actually. So we have a sort of with a handle and things. Or it might be this one. I haven't decided yet. And they've got nice tulips. And then this one has got a hammock, which I really like that one. Oh gosh, I can't decide. This one's a bit more detailed. I'm not going to do this one today. This one will appeal to people. Art supplies. Got a couple of paints and bits and pieces. And then we have this one that looks like lovely peonies on it. So which one shall I do? Maybe this one. Now I've got my Tombow pencils. Because I need something. Whoops, I haven't unzipped all the sections of my pencil case. Because I need something that's fine for the details. Now this is cream paper compared with that which is white. It's not that cream. I'm going to just lean on something. There we go. I don't like to lean straight on my desk. I don't know, some people do, it's fine. I'm just getting out my colour chart on my Tombows to help me. And we'll get started. Excuse me. I quite like the idea of doing the pots in a sort of more terracotta-y shades. And maybe all matching. So I'm going to start there. And I'm going to grab... We've actually got a terracotta, so I think I'm going to use that pencil. So here it is, terracotta. Now if you don't have Tombow, well, you may not even have this page, so I'll just show you a few things and chatter away, and it's fine. So let's start with the little one. And what I'm going to do is just put down a layer of terracotta as evenly as I can. Now I don't always do this. Someone said, you asked me the other day, do you always start with a layer of colour? Nope. It just depends on how my mood takes me. But today, and I'm going to darken the edges a bit to sort of try and show some shape. My desk is really noisy. I think it sort of needs tightening somewhere. It's an IKEA desk. Sometimes the bits get a bit loose, you know what it's like with IKEA. So I'm trying to leave a bit of a shine in the middle to give our pot a bit of shape. I'm going to do the same with all of them, so I'm not going to sort of talk you through it. I'll just chatter away. So, yeah, what should I chatter about? It's actually Monday colouring these, even though this video isn't going out till Thursday, because you've got my planner. Planner was in 3 parts, quite a mammoth planner set of videos, but... I wanted to just take my time with it. Sometimes I'm quite happy to do it quickly. I don't know why, I just felt like it needed a bit more time. So that was okay. And, this one. Yeah, I've been looking forward to doing this one. But obviously I have to get the planner done on the Monday, in case you want to get it done early in the week as well. It's this sort of tradition now, isn't it? Planner Monday. Now this paper is textured. It's some Derwent paper, and I'm still getting used to it. Even though this one's behind, I'm still going to do the same colour. You might want to do all your pots different colours if you get these pictures, but I sort of find that if one part is similar, then it can tie it together. So if you do all your pots different colours, you might want to tie together the leaves and do them all the same colour, or something like that, or use a limited colour palette. You know, some of you are fab at just using lots of colour and it just works. I'm not. So I have to sort of limit it a bit, or else it just looks like I've thrown the pencil tin at the page and they just stuck. Maybe that would look nice. I don't know. But I have to be, personally, I find that I'm not so good at doing that. And yeah, you might say, oh, you're being a bit down on yourself. No, I'm just being honest. And it's my own personal thought. And, you know, you might like it if I did it like that. But for me, I like something a little bit more contained. It's just personal taste. It's not self-criticism. So that's fine. I had a nice day, family day yesterday. It was lovely. Went to my parents. We had a late Father's Day celebration because my parents had gone away and they came back on Father's Day, and it was the weekend before my boys finished their last week of exams, and I was sort of, we weren't going out so that they had the opportunity to revise and things like that. So we'd sort of, it worked well for everybody to just delay it for a week. So it was really lovely. There was my parents were there, of course, and my sister came with her family. So she's got 4 children. So, and my niece had her boyfriend as well. He popped in actually. She asked him over because my parents had said he could come. So she gave him a quick ring and said, "Are you coming?" So he came over too, because he lives in the same town as my parents, as does my niece, because they're at university in that town. So that was all rather nice. And what did we do? I arrived, my mum asked me for a bit of help with the food, which was fine. I like helping anyway. There wasn't much to do. Of course she asks for help and then she does it all because she's she's like that. But anyway, and then I got my boys to play a game with their cousins. They played Catan. I'm going to grab a darker brown. I think the chestnut brown might give us a little bit of variation of colour. I want to really darken those edges a little bit more to give more of a feeling of shadow. So this, as I say, is the chestnut brown. I'm just going to work it on the edges of all the pots. The aim is to try and make it a little darker on the very edge, not the top edge, just the sides and the bottom, and then just scumble it out a bit, just to try and really give that shadowy impression. I hope you can see that now looks a little different to the rest. I can just about see. So I'm going to do it on the others. So yes, and then later in the day I played a Catan. I actually won. Ha! It was a bit of luck. I think right at the beginning, if you're familiar with the game, you will understand. You know, I feel that what you do right at the beginning, where you place your first settlements, is key really. But my son's determined to look up the tactics and find out how to beat me. He usually wins anyway. But that's okay. As long as he tells me as well, I'm fine. So we had some fun playing that, which was nice, playing with my one of my nephews and my boys. It's a 4-player game though, so only 4 of us could play, but for a while my dad came over and chatted with us and managed to talk to my nieces a little bit, and my nephews are on their phones quite a bit. But anyway, it's what kids do, isn't it? And some adults, let's admit it. Right, I want a bit of a lighter colour for the middles, just to sort of burnish it a little bit, really. I think I'm going to grab the mustard. It's a sort of more yellowy colour. Oops, or just drop it. Go, oops, mustard. Now, if you want to colour along and you don't have your Tombows, you can match nearish colours. You know, you don't have to use exact colours. So use what you've got that's nearest to a terracotta, and then a darker brown, and then a sort of ochre yellow. You don't have to use mustard. That sort of thing. I know it takes a bit of confidence to try and choose similar colours. It's I didn't used to be able to do it. But I'm getting better. You get better, it's practice, you know. And if you've only got one set, you may not be so used to trying to think what are the equivalent colours, maybe, I don't know. And a little bit in the middle of there. There are pots. Now I'm going to do the steps. I'm thinking I might do them, should we do them grey or brown? I'm thinking brown might look better. I think I'm going to grab the sepia. Ow. Here it is, sepia. Gosh, it's hard to see, isn't it? Oh, let's not make it blurred. Now I'm only going to use one colour here, so I'm going to make it quite dark there, and then significantly and quickly fade it. Like that. And the same here. And then fade towards the middle. And I think I'm going to leave that a little rougher because it's sort of stone. I think the texture in the paper actually works quite well, and I'm going to do it with these as well. I don't know, it might just look like I've been lazy and haven't bothered to finish it off, but I'm hoping that it just looks a bit stone, rough and stone-like. But anyway, it doesn't matter that much. Okay, so now we have the doors that I'm going to do. I think I'd like to do them in a very bright red. What do we have? It's the cherry red. Is it a bit too pink? Yeah, maybe we'll do the crimson. I'm thinking it might match better with the browns than a cherry red. So I'm going to use the crimson on the doors. Now the handles are so small. It's like a pin brick. Not quite. There's just enough space to get a bit of colour in there. This one's a bit bigger, isn't it? To be fair. Now if we stick to this sort of colour scheme for the flowers as well, we'll end up with lots of oranges and browns and reds, but I haven't decided yet. So there's our door. Now we only have these few windows with shutters on. I'm thinking these are the shutters that are open and these are the windows. That's how I'm interpreting it. I am actually going to find, where's the chestnut brown? Yeah, I'm going to use the chestnut brown for our shutters. Yeah, the only thing when you have a big gathering is it's not always easy to talk to everybody. And I didn't actually end up talking to my parents very much. So I've invited them over and they're coming over tomorrow. So that's rather nice. I haven't had them over for a long time because the boys have been on revision leave. I'm just choosing a yellow. I think the dandelion is the one I want. Is that it? Yeah. Because the boys have been revising, I've been supervising the revision and helping them. Haven't had time to do much recording and things, so I've been having to use a lot of spare time for that. So I haven't been seeing them so much. That's nice and friendly looking, isn't it? So I thought that it would be nice to have them over and see them again. I'm going to sharpen my sepia, and I'm just going to go around the edge of the window with this because I want to put a bit of shadow or something underneath. It doesn't look like it's part of the plant, the pot somehow. I'm thinking if I put that in, it might, I don't know if that's made much difference. Okay, leaf time. Now we have quite a few different greens in this set, but a lot of them are quite pale. I want something a little more vibrant, so I am going to use, I think I'm going to use the cactus green and the elm green, if I can find them. Where have I put them? Here they are. Because they are sort of more olivey greens. You might not be able to see very well from that. You'll see as I put them down. And I think they'll work nicely with the colours that we've got already, nice warm colours. So I'm going to start with this little pot here with our cactus green. And I'm going to try and see if I can just use it and just the one colour, or whether I need to add another. Now I want my shine on my leaf to be here, so I'm putting down more here and here. Now I'm just going to fade it up to this part. I'm not going to leave any white, but just make it paler there. Like that, hopefully. And then this one will make it layered in the bottom and then less towards the tip. Now because these are small, this is why I picked the Tombows, because they can sharpen to a fine point. You could also use polychromos quite easily on these small details, or Staedtler. Anything that's, you know, you can sharpen to a point and keeps its point. A lot of people just use Prismas for everything, for example, but I find that if I have to keep sharpening them, it irritates me. Maybe I'm just too impatient, but so I tend not to. Now I'm going to do another, I'm going to do this greenery here in a very similar way. Make the tip darker and then make it light towards the top. Yeah, so I don't like to have to keep sharpening and sharpening and sharpening, so I tend to use my Prismas for pictures that have less detail, usually, or else I just get impatient. I think if I had an electric sharpener, maybe I might be less impatient, and I have thought about putting one on my wish list. If you've got any suggestions, pop in the comments if there's any particular ones that you like. I don't know whether there's a big difference between I know nothing about them, so I know that some people really hate them because they eat the pencil too much, and if you're doing that with a Prisma which already needs lots of sharpening and wears down quickly, then maybe it's not such a good idea. I don't know. So I'm trying to put more pencil down near the bottom of our leaves and leaving it paler at the top. It's not going down in enough intensity for my liking, so I'm going to actually add a second colour. Now for a stem, I often like to make it slightly darker on each edge to make it look more rounded, but I feel that this is a bit too small. If the stem's really fine, then I don't do that. But I want to make it a bit more intense than the leaves, which is what I've done. And now we have the elm green. I think it's quite a similar colour, but not the same, so it will just look a little different. Now where our leaves overlap, there would be some shade and shadows. I'm going to put some shadows in at the end with on all of it, so if I remember. I make these promises and then I forget. I think it's I blame it on menopausal brain fog, it's a good excuse, isn't it? My husband keeps forgetting things as well. He's getting a bit worried. He's not got menopausal brain. I think he's just distracted with work, to be honest. So I don't know. I think we do forget some things as we get older. Anyway, naturally you can forget things. It doesn't have to always be down to something nasty happening, you know. But try and we do crosswords and things. Try and keep our brains working. Trying to think of words. Although they're usually such obscure words, I've never heard of them in the first place if it's a hard clue. So it doesn't really help me. And this one up here and this one. Just checking that you can see what I'm doing. There's the tip. I want the tip to be slightly lighter. Bit more down here. Again, I want the stems to be quite intense, so I'm just going to go up and down a few times to intensify the colour. I'm going to sharpen for that one. Look how teeny it is. I've coloured teenier. There we go. And then this leaf just darker at the bottom than the tip. And then we'll find a little colour to put on the tip will burnish it a bit more but not make it too dark. I'll see what we've got. Yes, maybe the willow might go well. Oh, there's the name, willow. I'm going to use that on these. Yeah, because there's texture in this paper, it's quite difficult to get it completely flat. But we can just put a little more colour on. Yeah, it was quite interesting. The boy said to me this morning, oh, at Granny's house there was a really annoying high-pitched whistling noise. And I was like, what's there? I didn't hear it. Now I'm going to find one to go with this slightly darker. The quartz green, I think. And I came to the conclusion that it was probably their light switch. So here's the quartz green, because they have got dimmers and they've got LEDs, which I think don't always work with dimmers and they might buzz. And one of the bulbs are gone, so I don't know if that makes a difference. But the light was on because they had the curtains shut because of the sun. It was so bright coming in and makes it hot. Of course, it was a very hot day. Yeah, it got up to about 26. My mum said it's 26 degrees in my kitchen. It's never been that hot. So I think you'll find it has. But maybe she hasn't had a thermometer. This is the ivory black. She had the oven on as well at lunchtime anyway, because she was making a roast dinner, which is quite warm for a roast dinner, but it was rather nice. Okay, let's do some florals. Now we basically have 4 different types of flowers, although these two are the same, which helps us a bit because I don't have the biggest range of colour. I'm going to use the tangerine orange because it's quite a normal orange. Some of the oranges are really fluorescent, and I'm going to use that because it's really similar to the terracotta. I think I might use it on this one because it's a little further away. Rather, this is close, so it might just look too similar. We've got a dot in the middle of each one, but I'm going to ignore that, and I'm just going to put some colour down. I might fill in that dot after. Now I'm thinking this bit might have a bit of darker in where there's there'll be a flower behind. I'm trying to smooth it out, it's a bit messy. And I'm thinking maybe these ones that are slightly behind might be a little bit darker. There we go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing my parents again tomorrow. My dad wants to go out for lunch, so we've got in our shopping centre now, we've got like a food hall. So I suggested we go there because there's a big choice. There's like Chinese, Italian, Mexican, there's burgers and sushi, all sorts of different things. So I thought there'll be something for everyone. I'm going to do the centres of these with the chestnut brown. I know we've used it before, but it's a good dark colour if I've not burnished it too hard. It doesn't want to go down very well. If you can't get any colour down because you burnished too hard like me, you could use a pen to just do a dot, but pens are very, very bright, so to be a bit careful. Now, I was thinking of doing sort of yellow for these. We've got our dandelion yellow, which I might use. Yeah, let's use that. Now, we've obviously used it for our window. We'll use it for these and then we'd change it up a little bit. So this is a dandelion. And I'm not going to press really hard because I'm going to put another colour on and I don't want to burnish it down, and then I won't be able to get my next colour on there. Though it looks really different to this colour because I'm using it lightly. It looks more like a primrose yellow, which is rather pretty actually. Makes me wonder whether I do want to add another colour or whether I just want to leave it like this. We'll see. Oh, I need a drink. I'll go and get a drink after I finish this. I probably got a bit dehydrated yesterday. It was hot. I did drink quite a lot of water, but it's always difficult to keep track of your drinks when there's lots of people and you're nattering. Now I'm going to use the yolk yellow, if I can find it, to just add a bit of colour into the centre of each of the flowers. There it is, yolk yellow. Oh, there you go. So I'm just going to put, now this is quite an orangey colour, which is why I picked it. I thought we'd just add that little bit of shadow into the centre. There we go. Now I've left that blank. You might want to put as if there's another flower behind and put some yellow in there, but I haven't. I quite like that where it's not actually faded in. It's just sitting there as if the flower is a slightly different colour in the centre. I like that look. Now these buds I'm going to do in this darker colour because I often find that when I look at buds they are much darker than the actual flower. Now they look a bit primrosy, I think, maybe, don't know. Now we've just got these three left and our hammock. I'm just having a look at what I've got colour wise. I've got some very, very light yellows, or yeah, let's try the narcissus. I think, is that it? Let's turn the wrong way, I can't see the name. Yeah, there it is. Narcissus is really pale. Might look a bit similar to these, but we'll see. I like that. It does look very different to this. It's more of a cold yellow. That makes sense. Yellows can't be cold, but lemony maybe. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. I like that, just kept quite plain. Now I'm going to do our hammock. I think just a sort of grey mesh might work. I'm going to use the silver grey for it. I don't want it too dark. And we've got this tiny loop. And then I'm thinking it's going to be a little more intense on this inside bit here, but lighter towards the middle anyway. And then we'll lighten it towards the centre. I mean, obviously hammocks can be quite brightly coloured, but I don't know, I just thought, because of the way it was drawn, it just said to me grey. Now I'm going to use my sepia to do a little shading just before we finish. Some shadows. Now I find that a sepia is sort of brownish. It's quite good for shadows on this sort of colour palette. If you've got cold colours, then you want to use a cold grey, like a Payne's grey, or indeed a cold grey. Gosh, some magpies. So noisy. My son was complaining about them this morning too, so to wake him up, shouting outside, because we went out to the shop this morning, and he said, I said, oh, the blackbird, it's lovely, and he's like, oh no, it was shouting. I said, no, that's the magpies. The blackbird's pretty sound. Now you don't have to do this final step. You might not even like it, to be honest. It's completely up to you. I like to just show a little bit of shadow between the various items. There's a noisy aeroplane going by now. It's got a clear sky, we can hear everything more. Let's put a bit of shadow here. Here. And then just along the edge of there. Now I feel there'd be a fair bit under these leaves. And under these, sort of around here. So basically outlining some of the bits and pieces really to create the look of a shadow. Now some people will also do it underneath on the ground, like that. Don't have to. It just stops them looking like they're floating in the air. Right. Yeah, I'm going to just put a line around the door, I think. Really got much of a frame, so I'm just going to add one in. There's a little hair on there. Let's just delete, no, erase, no, brush away. There we go. So I think we are done with our little cute house. So that's that. So thank you for watching. I hope that was okay. Have a really super day, and look in the description if you're interested in these and find my discount code so that you can save a little money if you download them. But thank you so much, have a super day and happy colouring.